corporate world and going for a drink go hand in hand. But I knew that I was using it to cover up and using it as something to look forward to after work. Let me wake up and go to work, and then I'm going to have a good drink and, drink my sorrows away. That was just not the life that I wanted for myself. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Edelyn France, the reality check coach. And today I really want to delve into starting over at 30. Now, if you are considering a career change, a life change, it is never too late. And that's not even just if you're 30, but however old you are. I always say this, we have multiple lives. If I was to go back 5 years and look where I am today, I wouldn't believe it. I would not believe it. And in 5 years' time, I expect to be able to look back and be like, wow, I can't believe I'm here, there. You know what I mean? I believe that we have multiple lives, and in those multiple lives, we can be whatever we want. I was in a corporate world, working in Waterloo. Literally, I would look out my window, London Eye was right there. I had that sense of pride in terms of like, wow, I work in the big city. I was fully living that life. But really and truly, I hated it. I hated it. Oh my God, it's not me. It is not me. But I was forcing myself into a box that just wasn't my own. So once I hit 30, or once I was leading to 30, so 29, I definitely had a mini midlife crisis. I was just questioning everything. Like, where am I? Like, what am I doing? Like, am I proud of where I am today? What does the next 5 years look like? When I wake up in the morning, am I enjoying what I'm going to do? I was just questioning myself, and I was doubting myself, and I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy in how I was living my life. Like many people, I'm sure, I thought by 30 I'd have kids, married, etc. That was far from the case. Far from the case. At least in terms of my career, I actually thought maybe I'd be somewhere that I'd be happy about, but I wasn't. I just was not. 29 was tough. It was tough. I was beating myself up a lot. I was really hard on myself. A lot of that negative self-talk that I like to talk about, that self-talk was talking. It was talking to me. I was forced to really look at my life and really figure out, where am I going in terms of creating that long-term happiness? Because I want to be happy. I say this to people all the time. And I remember I had a recent conversation with someone, and I was like, I want to be happy. That's my goal. I want to be happy. And they looked at me and talked to me like, oh, well, that's not life. You don't know your life. I'm like, you don't know where I've come from. You don't know the pain that I've pained. You don't know the suffer that I've suffered. I know real life, but I also understand that you can choose to be happy. You can choose to surround yourself with people that bring positivity. You can choose a career that makes you more happy than a career that makes you less happy. You have choices. So ask yourself this: do you wake up in the morning and you dread to get out of bed because of the circumstances or where you know you're going? For example, I was getting out of bed when I was in the corporate world, and I just dreaded it. That feeling, that heavy, heavy feeling of, oh, I need to go all the way here, I need to go there, oh, I've got this, that to do. Like, I've got to see these people I don't want to see. I've got to type up this and have email exchanges that I don't want to have. I just felt so drained and so miserable. And I just had to question, is this life? I'm sure I could find something that would bring me some sort of fulfillment as well as an income. I remember at that time, I would come home every day, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this out loud, but this is a real honest place where I'm going to be sharing real honest stories. Nearly every day, I would come home from work, I'd go to a shop, I'd get a beer, I'd get a drink, I'd get a wine, I'd get something, or I'd go out for drinks every day, every day. It was like that was the one thing I had to look forward to, that thing that would numb the pain and numb the feelings that I was feeling. That's not life. That's not the life that I wanted. I love a drink, don't get me wrong, but it was too consistent. It was becoming a regular thing. And I know that corporate world and going for a drink go hand in hand. But I knew that I was using it to cover up and using it as something to look forward to after work. Let me wake up and go to work, and then I'm going to have a good drink and, drink my sorrows away. That was just not the life that I wanted for myself. I also had a lot of fear of stagnation. I was worried that I wasn't going to go anywhere because I started to feel so unmotivated that I started to just not really care about the job I was doing. I couldn't see myself progressing. They're not going to promote me. Like, I don't even want to be here. And at this point, I'm not even acting like I want to be here. That's when I started to look for the signs of my true career. Now, I feel like a lot of us are probably doing things in our day to day, or doing things as hobbies, or doing things on the side that are signs of our true careers, of our true passions. At uni, I studied media and I was part of the university radio. I loved being part of the radio. It was Ofcom regulated radio. It was literally on the air, and it was just a really fulfilling time where I could create content and shoot it out on the airwaves. And I felt so special doing it. And I carried that on as a hobby. I was part of an online radio station where I would have my show, ladies' night, especially when people would come and join the radio station and tell me that they've heard my show. That gave me a sense of pride. And I felt like I was doing something that was worthwhile, that was touching people, that was getting people involved and getting people to want to join the station. Like, that felt so good. And then I started to film it. This was the start of the podcast era. I started to film my shows and edit it, and I loved it. I loved, filming and putting things together. Like, I've already studied media, so it's nothing new to me. And it's something I really enjoyed doing, and I loved being able to share it out with the world. So lockdown hit. For me, lockdown was a great opportunity to do something to boost my skill set, to boost my income. I was literally thinking of everything. I just wanted to create something or start a business. I'm sure a lot of us were in that kind of entrepreneur phase. And some people were just chilling and enjoying not having to go to work. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to university. So I did. I went back to university. This is when I was 29, just about to be 30, or I think I might have turned 30 at this point. I went back to university and I did my master's in television production. I knew that I wanted to be part of the television world because I loved editing, I loved filming, I loved finding people, I loved creating content, and I also loved reality television. Like, why not do something that you love? Like, I loved it to the point that I'd like to work on it. Some people just love reality TV because they're like, yeah, I love good trash TV. I love, just watching TV, whatever. But I actually loved it to the point where it's like, I want to be there. So I went back to university and I did my master's. And that's the first step. This is what I say to a lot of clients. Action. Action is always number one. And the action can be as small as 1% or as big as 100. But as long as you do something to move, you're going the right direction. My thing for me, I always just have to start. If I start something, at least, even if I don't finish, which I don't finish everything, but my journey commences and I learn something and I grow, and it always leads me somewhere. So that is the first step that I always encourage people. Action. And obviously I did have lockdown, so that was a great opportunity because there wasn't a lot to do. Always use the circumstances that you're in. Like, sometimes people may see the glass as half empty, but I decided to look at it as half full. Perception. Change your perception and life will change. Going to uni, I really had to think of my long-term happiness because I knew that I couldn't stay in the corporate world. I couldn't stay in the position I was. I needed action. I needed to move. I needed something to happen. I was turning 30 and I needed more for myself. So I needed to think of my long-term happiness, and that really motivated me. I also had to really lean on my self-belief. I had to really believe that no matter what, I can do it, no matter what. And I also had to just take a leap of faith. I have faith in God, and I knew that God's going to make a way. Like, something's going to happen. Like, as long as I'm on the right track, everything else will fall into place. And that's how I view life. And that's how I've come as far as I've come. I was blessed enough to land my first role in television before I even graduated from my master's. And that's down to just really having that faith, that belief that I was going to be able to make this work. But I really do credit my lecturer because he really instilled that confidence in me. He really helped me to understand the industry a bit better. So I definitely think that is important for you to do your research, whatever that may be. I decided to go back to university to do that research because I had no idea, no clue about the television industry. But it's really important to find out about that industry or that thing that you want to do so that you can have a bit of confidence when stepping into it. It really helps. I was able to secure a job before I even left university. And I do credit it to me going to uni. And that's because I actually went for a different job and I didn't get that job. And to be honest, they were right not to give me that job because my career went in a totally different way. However, the woman decided to give me a job at the company that was a short-term contract. It was like a 3-month role. I think it was actually a month or two, and then it rolled over for like another month. And that's because she saw the passion in me. She also saw that decided to go back to university, and we also talked about my age. So she understood that I was taking a leap of faith. She understood that I was having that self belief, and she understood that I was bold enough to go after what I wanted. And she gave me a role that ignited my career. Since then, I have been blessed to work on some of the biggest shows on television, including Married at First Sight, Michael McIntyre's Big Show, Too Hot to Handle, to name a few. But I've been blessed enough to work on these shows and to travel the world. And that's because I decided to focus on my long-term happiness. I decided to have the courage to rip off the band-aid. I decided to have the courage to go, action, to make a move. I had no clue what was going to happen. I couldn't fathom working on the shows that I've worked on. I couldn't fathom going to the countries I've visited. I couldn't fathom any of this life. I couldn't. But what I did know is that I don't want to be here in the corporate world, and I want to be here in the TV industry. And the rest of the path was lit for me. The most important thing is to make sure that you take action. Just have a bit of faith. Now, comment below, let me know, have you changed careers recently? Did you decide to change career or take a leap of faith and do something drastic at an age where people think, oh, you should be a bit more settled? Let me know, and let me know how you navigated it, and share with our friends so that we can all learn. This is a learning platform. Let's learn together. Please like this video if you want to see more videos like this, and subscribe if you want to be part of this friendship circle. Until next time, bye friends.